56 bridges and 617 curves, and there's a story around almost every one of them.
Going to Hana, Maui, drive the thrill of beauty never ends.
To spend 3 hours on this highway is to take one of the most beautiful drives in America. And at the end of it, you reach a 20th century oasis, one that touches old Hawaii. They call it Heavenly Hana.
High on the slopes above Hana stands a memorial to Paul Fagan, the man who brought the land and the haven together that we now know as Hotel Hana Maui. But perhaps this pales in comparison to the rich history of the people who both before and after have called Hana home.
I think the essence is being who you are and practicing who and what you are. And that is what Hana is all about. They practice who and what they are.
May Day is a very unique time here in Hana. Why?
Because it's a place in which the kupunas and the mo'opunas are able to share with each other what have been passed on and also what have been received. And if anything, I think that is the sense of connectedness that is here in Hana.
It's May Day, and for this tight-knit community, flowers and leis are only part of the occasion. Food, music, and traditional Hawaiian dances illustrate the Hana lifestyle. But this is a way of life that's celebrated every day. Kids from kindergarten through high school participate in a pageantry of modern and ancient hula. It is their gift to the community, to parents, families, and friends.
I think it's very important that that's what our ancestors did, and we did our leis the same ways, and we got to pick our own stuff, and being in the mountains, it's just a feeling that you can't feel in a city.
The tiny town's kupuna enjoy the colorful event, proud of their deep roots here, but sometimes pained at the changes they see in their coastal community. They know the future of this island culture depends on how they preserve the past. In their children, they see hope. But will they keep the magic of Hana and its Hawaiian ways alive?
Tears roll down my eyes because how the children are today. And if I do share my manao to them, to speak the language to them, they will be valuable someday. And they are valuable today. They are so precious to me.
Hana is a cradle of our island culture, and helping to nurture its traditions are not only those who grew up here, but those who were called to this magical place.
We came to visit my brother in 1956, and he drove us to Hana just for the day. We didn't even spend the night. We loved everything about it, the road, the area, the people. We met quite a few people because he's related to people here. And we went back the following year, sold our business, and came back to stay.
Kwaila Eid now heads the Hana Cultural Center Museum and Archives. We found her at work next to the old courthouse, which she helped to restore and return to its former use. Now, every month, judges come in from Kahului.
The first Tuesday of every month and hold court. It's mostly traffic and that sort of thing. If there are any trials, they go to Wailuku.
Here in these rooms, old photos and artifacts help Hana remember its history. It's a quaint museum where memories from the past are rekindled. After a chance visit 30 years ago, Eid quickly made the transition from tourist to resident. She was accepted Hana style.
The Hawaiians have just been wonderful to us, and if they like you, there's just nothing they won't do for you. And I think it depends on the people, and most of the people that come here to live seem to blend in with the Hawaiians and live with them comfortably.
And Hana continues to lure those with many different backgrounds, especially if you like to work with the rhythm of the waves instead of the noise of a big city. Don Rio and his wife Judith write and produce NBC's Blossom. It's all done from Hamoa Beach under umbrella number 4.
This is my office, and this is what I do here. Here you see, this is Crossroads, which is the new series with John Larroquette on NBC this fall. Check your local listings. And this is episode number 9, called Amends. And this is the first draft of that script, which you will eventually see on the air sometime in this one will probably be on in
October,
November, maybe early December. And it started here.
How do you get your inspiration from Hana to write these wonderful works of art?
Well, I haven't done any wonderful works of art. We're doing situation comedies here, but I'm inspired by guilt. I look around and I sit here and I'm so guilty that I'm here and everybody else is back in Los Angeles that I work really hard.
How did you discover Hana?
Let's see, we came to Hana in 17 years ago. We had just finished some show and we were exhausted and we wanted to go somewhere. The Cher Show, yeah. When Sonny and Cher split up, I produced the Cher Show. And we were working on that show together, Judy and I. And we came here to relax. Somebody recommended it. And we drove around the island, drove right past the hotel. We didn't know it was the hotel. Kept going all the way to Kipahulu, where we met Sam Pryor, who lived up there in Kipahulu. And we spent the afternoon there and finally made it back to the hotel that night. And we've been coming here ever since.
Well, here in Hana, it's such a family feeling to begin with. We've been very fortunate to have met a lot of the local people. We have a lot of friends who have lived here all their lives, raised their children here. You know, there's that back to basics and roots kind of thing that you find here that you don't find in the sprawling urban kind of life on the mainland.
Despite the presence of TV celebrities, television hardly reigns supreme in Hana, but baseball does. All the way back to the days of Paul Fagan, it's been the favorite pastime of this rural community. Fagan's San Francisco Seals came here for seasonal training, and the players were housed in what is now the Hana Hotel. It was a visiting sports writer who coined the phrase, Heavenly Hana.
From then on, baseball was part of Hana's sport, although it's a Western sport, but it's been with Hana for quite some time now.
You were saying earlier that you teach the foundation of life on the baseball field. What is it?
Well, we do teaching to the young ones that it's a team sport. You need everybody on the team, and we teach them that winning is not all of it, and you learn how to win and lose. So they learn how to win with a high and learn how to take a loss with gracious. So we like that, teaching our children that the values of winning and losing.
Hana is such an intimate, close-knit community. What is it like for kids growing up in this town? What was it like for you?
Well, for me it was more a family thing where you need to be home at certain time to do your chores, and playing sports or competitive sports was secondary to your chores at home. But now the kids have so much time on their hands that we need to make as much programs available for them so that they can stay away from things that they're not supposed to be with.
The small town has a charm all its own. After folks make the long and beautiful drive, there's still the Hasegawa General Store, the Hana Ranch Snack Shop, a post office, and a world-class hotel. And yes, Hana hospitality can be found around every bend.
Up and down the hills and around the bend.
When Island Style on the Road continues, we'll plant taro at first light.
Try to plant by the stars and then by the location of the planets.
Kimo Went and his family get up before the sun and begin a daily ritual that is as old as the first Hawaiians.
Because when you're up here alone, it's a totally different world. See, it's not like when people, because you just get into your own world, and then you just keep doing what you're doing because you gotta love it, or else you're gonna just say, I'm going home or something. But yeah, the Hawaiians is here. They're probably here right now, watching what's going on, watching the future, what's going to happen. Because like when you plant taro, you're planting for the past, you're planting for the present, and you're planting for the future. And when the thing ready for harvest, and you eat that fruit of life, because it's all from a kua that come. Because it's not from man, it's from God to take care of his land.
It is the god Wakea, the Sky Father, who ancient Hawaiians called their ancestor. The story is told that he and his mate, Ho'ohukukalani, have a baby who is born an unformed mass. In grief, they bury the child near the corner of their home, and later from this grave grows a taro plant. This taro springs to life just before Ho'ohukukalani gives birth again. Their newborn son is called Haloa, and he is taught that the taro plant is his elder brother. He is also given a warning. If his elder brother lives, so will he. But if the taro dies, he will die with it.
This is what I know, this is what was taught to me by my amakua, pass on to generation to generation to generation. This is what the family know, and we love this life, and we feel that we have a right here because it is passed on, and it's all the Hawaiians have a right, to their rights. But it doesn't matter if you're Hawaiian, it's all the nationalities, it's just a matter of the feeling of the heart. If the heart is pure and the heart is clean, then everything was going to work out for everybody. Look at me, I'm quarter German, Hawaiian, Chinese, and Portuguese.
The growing of taro is literally and symbolically at the root of Hawaiian culture. Kimo Went's daily ritual, a journey up Wailua Valley to his lo'i, or irrigated taro patch in Keanai, comes from a full-time love of the land. Kimo left football and college life on the mainland to return to these beginnings.
My dad taught me, our family is Akiona family, and we got our own style of farming from my Uncle Jimmy. He lives down the road till today. He gets me pointers, and then you just piece together your own style and then pray to Akua that the taro comes big.
But Kimo, his family, and many others in Hana feel their peaceful way of life is threatened as never before.
Because I'm just one farmer, and this is just one location in one lois. There's many other farmers out there, and many other farmers in the state. Now is the time we all come together as farmers, and we know the land and love the land and work the land and preserve our water and preserve our rights.
No golf courses. We don't want that. We don't, those jobs that they're offering us, they're not jobs we want. Farm, how can we farm on a golf course? How can we grow our taro? How can we pick this if, it's not around? It's not going to be around. As soon as one comes, they're all going to come.
We don't want to have that beginning. We don't want to take that chance. You can't find this place anywhere else.
Pagans cross over Hana Bay, watches the sun's first fiery ray warm the pastures and wake a sleepy town. It's just one man's opinion, but for what it's worth, there's no place finer and God's greener than Hana in the morning with the sun shining down. Hold on to the land you love. Hold on.
Hana's biggest employer is also at the center of its golf course controversy. The Hotel Hana Maui has lost over $20 million in the last 3 years. It may close down if it doesn't get the golf course. In the 1940s, the hotel was only part of a dream come true for a San Francisco entrepreneur.
50 years ago, Paul Fagan looked at the sugar plantation fields and had a vision that the lands could be turned into a prosperous cattle operation. Thus, the Hana Ranch was born.
My dad first got his start in Hana when a fellow named Paul Fagan bought the ranch and brought some purebred Hereford breeding stock over from the island of Molokai. That was back in 1946.
Boy is following in his father's footsteps as a Hana Ranch cowboy, a rugged paniolo whose life includes a few things that would surprise a mainland cowboy.
Image. But in Hana, the cowboy still puts on his shorts and grabs his throw net and goes to the beach after work. And I have a lead cowboy and a brother that work with me out on the cattle work every day, and the hush puppies are on while we're working, and that's not a cowboy boot.
But running this ranch means long hours and hard work.
I've been with the ranch for 26 years now, and it's been, working has been fun for me on the ranch, you know, and I treat it up so much fun up to a point that my company has always had to ask me to take vacation times, because otherwise you'll lose them. And to me, fun at work is like vacation, because it's something I enjoy doing.
Well, maybe. But for me, when it's Pau Hana, I'll take a leisurely ride along this coastline anytime. The lush trails and ocean views are breathtaking and yield a healing serenity. Here is where Hana turns to the sea for sustenance. And like the farming of taro, here is where you'll find a view of Hawaii that stretches back to the earliest times.
It's an unbelievable technique. You know, you acquire it the more you go out. So the children start off coming out with you. They learn about behavior, pattern behavior. You don't walk to the water, especially if you want to catch fish, you know. And what happens is you got small fish that will alert the larger ones when someone approaches the water. So these are the things that they're learning now. Don't go to the water and you tell them why. Okay? When you approach, make sure you're undercover. You know, there's many facets to different types of fishing.
Hana fisherman Henry Noah lives without television, without a refrigerator, in fact, without electricity. He uses his throw net to catch his family's dinner.
A lot of times you're sharing what you have, you know, with your neighbor, with your kupuna, the ones who cannot gather anymore. And this is the beauty of having a live icebox, you know, and the importance of preserving it.
With 7 children on her hands, Henry's wife Keolani is a former flight attendant who traded her hairdryer and hot running water to live the Hana way.
It was really hard for us to give it to them in this fashion, but I think it's one of the key things that a lot of people, I hate to say, are missing, but I forget that it does exist and that it needs to be given to them at this time of their life, and not when they're older. It's too late, you know, because I know that my kids can go out there in that world and work anywhere, survive doing anything, and come out successful. You know, I know that. I feel that.
So Hana offers an alternative to the modern age, a life that's basic and simple, and a real choice for some of the folks we've come to know. It's the way of their ancestors, and a way that continues in a deeply felt tradition. The strength of the Ohana is and always will be the heart of Hana, the last Hawaiian place.
The old folks say to learn your ways of life, to understand, to go out on your own. You see, you've been around the world, seen those flashing neon lights. I'm coming back, there's no place like home. Going to Hana, Maui, that tries the thrill of beauty never ends. I'm going to Hana, Maui, up and down the hills and around the bend. Up and down the hills and around the bend.